All right, hello everybody, and welcome into the Gear Stupidity podcast. This is episode 2 on Formula Drift. Uh-oh, J-Mech, where's your... Uh-oh, hang on a minute, your... Oh, nope, that's not... Oh, no, there it went. Your reactive image took a minute to come up. That was really weird.
Oh,
It was
dang.
it was like slow to respond, and it didn't immediately come up on it. It usually does that. That was weird. But yes, welcome in everybody. How is JMEX audio? I was watching I was watching the first podcast back, and I realized his audio was crazy quiet. So you want to say something, JMEX? Let me make sure your audio's good this time.
Yo, how's everybody doing?
All right, is he good? Do I need to turn him up, down? What do I need to do to make sure we can actually hear him this time? I realized I made a mess of that the first time, so.
Yep.
Oh shoot! All of my. You're good.
Right.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Please note, all redeems are turned off right now. I don't know why that worked. Let me go and turn that off real quick. That's not supposed to be usable.
Yeah, I just turned off sound alerts in,
Yep.
in general.
Since we are recording a podcast right now, I need refund. I'll get you back. Don't worry. Let me take care of that real quick. I forgot it for some reason. It did not work as it should have. Not 100% sure why. So yeah, I will refund you here after stream. Don't worry about that. So, but yeah, tonight we are talking, if you can't tell by the overlay, about Formula Drift, a favorite sport of mine. I've actually been listening to it all day while I was working around the house because I could listen to it and kind of take quick glances now and then as I did my dishes and so on. Ken Block? No, Ken Block is actually not a part of Formula Drift. He was never a
You're
part of
thinking of
Formula
Hoonigan.
Drift. Yeah, Hoonigan is a little bit different. They're more rally focused, weirdly. They do a bunch of drifting and hot boy stuff, but in terms of Formula Drift, actually, no. Surprisingly. I was surprised to learn that actually as well when I first got into it. I thought Ken Block was a part of it. So, I suppose first things first, J-Mech, you said you do know a little bit about Formula Drift. Do you guys in chat know anything about it, or are we starting from scratch with you guys? We're discussing old stunt drivers, Rod Millen being one of them. Oh, okay. What the?
We're not really talking about stunt drivers.
Huh, that was weird. I just got a ping that something got declined on my debit card. I should probably go check that after stream. Oh well, so.
Favorite car from Formula Drift?
Well, we're gonna get into different how shall I say, all of the different cars and stuff, or at least the majority of them. We're going to talk more in depth about the cars a little later. That way we can kind of discuss the ins and outs and fine points of them, because FD cars are very, very unique. So they're pretty cool. But yeah, we'll talk about those here in a little bit. Jamie, you want to start with I know I had it written down. I want to start with like the format and stuff. You good to start with there?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So, format for Formula Drift. Yes, Odie Bakchis. He is one of my particular favorites, Sadie. Ryan Turk is cool, too. Builds a lot of cool things. Like I said, we'll talk about the drivers and their cars here in a few. So, in terms of format, Formula Drift is a very unique sport in terms of motorsport because, unlike most motorsports, it is not first to the finish line wins. As a matter of fact, everybody takes turns going instead of jockeying for position. This sport is more focused on style and, like, Jamek, would you think it'd be a good comparison to go, like, doing snowboard tricks and stuff where it's more of like a judged sport than it is, like a race?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought that was kind of like a good explanation of that. So, how this works... I was going to say, didn't FD originate from D1GP? I believe so, yeah. I don't know as much of the history about it. All I know is how it operates today. I mean, you can certainly go back and find a bunch of those old races, but we were focusing more on what's happening in the modern Formula Drift and stuff for, like, the upcoming season. That way, if you've never heard of it or you're not familiar with it, you can kind of jump in anywhere and pick it up as you go. But yeah, so the layout for the weekend for a Formula Drift race Starts pretty normally with I believe there's a practice session, and then qualifying. And qualifying is pretty much like you would expect. Single cars taking to the track, and those single cars laying down the best possible run they can do. Hey, Ghoulie, welcome to the stream. So the idea of qualifying is to get the highest score possible, like a judged like snowboard trick event. Where'd my channel points go? Oh, you'll get them back. I had to turn them off because we're recording. We didn't want sound effects going off all the time. So qualifying is pretty unique in the sense that it's not fastest time, it's highest score. This entire sport is based on style. So, J-Mac, do you know what they scored out of by chance?
Isn't it by speed and angle?
Speed, angle, and I believe there's one other. I think it's what is it? Accuracy, or speed, angle, and line. That's what they call it. So
Definitely not smoke, because
yeah, because
I've seen people people say, "Oh, it's like speed, smoke, and angle." I'm like, bro.
No, no,
Exactly.
they've definitely got that wrong, but it is a good joke because that's what Formula Drift probably creates most of is smoke. The Formula Drift is a great way of turning tires into smoke in a very, very quick. Scores by angle, speed, line, and gap. Yeah, we're for qualifying though. There's no gap to anything. It's only speed, angle, and line for qualifying. Smoke is bad for your lungs. Yes, it is, but hey, when you're going to a sporting event, you don't really care.
Good or bad?
I mean, if you're not making smoke, you're not drifting, so that's usually smoke is usually a good thing. Unless it's raining. They did do Orlando in the rain last year, which was interesting. Yeah, it started raining halfway through the round of 16, and they just kept going. And I'm like, this is really interesting to watch them in the rain because of how much these cars and stuff make in terms of power. That was really interesting to watch. But so yeah, they're judged. The judges have a perfect line on the track that hits every single zone and point that they want to see. I've got a track map up. I will show you guys those here in a bit. I wonder if I can get the Atlanta track map up. Atlanta FD track. No. Oh.
All right.
Track map. Okay, there we go. I think this is. Yep, this is it here. Perfect. That'll work. But yeah, so how it works is. Where's this? I thought there was like a breakdown of it somewhere. Sorry, I had this pulled up and it's gone now. I'm wondering where it went. Oh, I'll use this one. That'll work good. So, but yeah, the track officials and judges have a particular. There it is. I knew I had it up. They have a particular, like, perfect line that they have designed on the track that the drivers are supposed to get as close to as possible. Those lines are very, very difficult, but manageable. It is possible to do them. However, they're very, very tricky. So the driver has to go out and set as close to the perfect run as they can during their qualifying. And then, of course, the highest score qualifies first, and they take 32 total entries. So the 32nd place is your final qualifier, and the rest are just eliminated right then and there. They don't qualify for the event. But that's
straight home.
Yep, pretty much they go straight home. And that's where the interesting part of this particular sport starts. Because then it goes to a tournament bracket style where two cars do basically two pass battles, each one leading and one chasing. And I'll get into how they judge that more later. But they have to go back and forth, one lead, one chase, and then a winner's decided between them. And they keep going down the brackets like that until they're left with the final two cars, and those battle for the particular event's win. So the format is very, very unique to most motorsports. like I said, you don't see many that go. There aren't many motorsports that I know of that go straight to like tournament style play. That's really kind of a strange format.
Yeah, it honestly reminds me of an old F1 qualifying back in the day, where basically there was so many teams that wanted to like qualify for a race. So basically there was either on Thursday or Friday, there was like qualifying for like those back marker teams. And so basically whoever made it onto the grid basically made it.
Pretty much, yeah. And that's definitely a because you'll see a lot of teams. You'll see teams, some drivers and teams there. The Falcon livery is overrated. I actually quite like the Falcon livery. It's two of my favorite drivers carry that Falcon livery, so we will disagree on that one for sure. But yeah, the it's like I said, it's a very interesting format, and you will see some of the same drivers most of the weeks. However, there are a lot of times you'll actually see some new faces come in, and you're like, "Who the crap's this guy?" And he's in the top. He's on like the round of 16. He's in the top 16, vying for a chance at even the top 8 or 4. And you're like, "I've never heard of this guy because he's never really qualified before." And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he gets a hot streak on a track he likes. His car's dialed in, and he is nailing it. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting. So it's interesting to see who comes out of it and who doesn't. So, in terms of like actual, what was the next part I wanted to hit? Because in terms of the scoring and judging, let me pull this up. All right, so here is a track map of round 2 at Atlanta. Now, this is from 2016, but the track pretty much remains unchanged for the moment.
Dang,
So,
that's an old logo.
yes, it is. It's it's dated by about 7 years now. So you can
Oh,
see the first point. Why doesn't my mouse? I wish my mouse showed up. That's annoying. You can see the way it starts at the bottom right corner where it says inner clip 1. Down here, how shall I? Can I? Nope, that's the other overlay. There. It starts kind of like right here at the tip of my ear. It starts and runs up and this way around the track, up the top and around the P, and then back down the same way to the finish. So, how it works, the first mark down here you see is in this gray circle. This is inside clip 1. Inside clips are... J-Mac, you want to explain what an inside clip is?
it's basically like the middle part of the corner. Well, the middle part of the apex, really.
Yeah, it's pretty much the apex, and you're supposed to get your front bumper, while in a drift, as close to that inner clip point as possible without actually hitting it. Well, I mean, if you hit it, you can hit it, but you're not supposed to move it. So, like, just basically scraping the paint off of your bumper on that marker, which they are movable, they can be just hit out of the way. So, hitting that and, like, scraping your paint off the bumper without moving the clip is perfect. That is spot bang on it. If you can make it wiggle without moving out of its slot, you nailed it. So then they have to transition, which means letting the car kick back and drift the other direction. So, of course, they'll be drifting with their passenger side or right side of the vehicle facing forward on the track. Well, the corner goes the other way, so they have to let the car transition. We'll see a video here in a bit where you get to see this. They have to transition, let the car go the other way, and then this is a touch and go. It's very much like an inside clip, however, it's a zone. So they want the car's front bumper to be in this entire area. They want it to touch that area for a short period of time, and then they're allowed to go again out of that and up to, they call it clipping zone 1 here. This is an old map. These are known as outside zones now. So the car is drifting sideways up with the left side of the vehicle facing forward, and they're supposed to fill outside zone 1, which is the red at the top, and outside zone 2, I should say the red on the left top, and the very top red. These are the outside zones. So they are supposed to have the bumpers filling. There's actually marks on the track that dictate where this is exactly at, but they want the car's rear tires and rear bumper to completely fill the outside zones. Now they finish the outside zones and immediately into another inside clip. They come back out off the corner and they hit the touch and go again. And they actually use inside clip 1 again because this track reuses and goes back towards the start finish. Not all tracks do this. Sometimes this would be inner clip 3 and it'll be up the track further or whatever, because they don't come back and use the same road. That's a little unique, but that's how the formula works in terms of like a map. The closer you are, and as we talked about in terms of line, or what were the exact ones we used on this? Speed, angle, and line dictate your qualifying score. Justin Pollock actually holds one of the few 100 score qualifying runs at FD Orlando, I think in 2020 or 2021. He actually had a 100-point perfect qualifying run. I cannot find video of it. I was going to show that one, and I'm like, damn it, I can't find it.
That's insane.
It's really good. So if you want, JMac, I'm going to actually pull one up if you can watch my stream. I'm going to pull up a video of Odie Bakshish and Matt Field. They happen to go right back to back to each other. I'm going to pull up their particular qualifying runs so we can see what a couple of good qualifying runs look like. Now, unfortunately,
I love that C6.
This is Matt Field. He is they call him the Beast from the Bay. This is his Heat Wave Drift Cave. What is it? It keeps changing. I forget what his main sponsor is, but they call it the Heat Wave Corvette. And this is his qualifying run. Now, there's no audio on this for copyright purposes, but we're going to get to watch Field make the pass. This is the track I just showed you. This is FD Atlanta. So this will be the, This will be the 2022 version of the track, but it's pretty much the same. Oh, hang on a minute. Before we get too crazy here. Where was the... go back. Where? There. Okay, these cones. These cones are very important to the start of the race. This is usually where the lead driver during a match will start. He has to accelerate quickly and go out of the chicane. He's not allowed to come straight out the cones. He has to go through the chicane in the side. Well, the chase driver doesn't. They just get to leave. So if they hit a cone, they are immediately stopped, and the run is reset. If it's hit twice in a row or something, I think it's an automatic DNF. So you do not hit these cones. These are important.
Ooh.
Yeah, you do not want to hit the cones. That is a very crucial mistake you can make. So here we go. Transition, there's the initiation, I should say. Here's inside clip 1. There you can see the pillar. Here's the touch and go. He's going to come up the hill. There's the markers for outside zone 1. There's the markers you can see next to the asphalt for outside zone 2. There's inside clip 2. He's going to let the back end hang out again. Come around, back through the touch and go, transition, back to the outside or the inside clip, and to finish. And beautiful. That's how that is a textbook run. Let's see what he scores here, because I think it actually does show his score. Yep, right there it is. All right, so let's see what Matt Field scored for this. You can see, actually, perfect, yeah, because this is where they start. They run down. You can see all the way up here at the top. Oh, yeah, my mouse is showing. Nice. Now, nice. So this is where they start. They come down the track, initiate inside clip 1, touch and go. The outside zone 2, or outside zone 1 is right here, and outside zone 2 is here, under the Formula Drift thing. Inside clip 2, back out, and you can actually see the black marks on the pavement for where everybody runs. That is an awesome, awesome aerial shot of this track, so you can see exactly what this track looks like. And here we go. That was a 93. Scored a 38 out of 40 on the line. So I believe it's 40, 30, and 30, I believe, because line is important, and then angle and style, it's actually called, I guess, now is what they use. So, yeah, I'm surprised style. I would have guessed speed. So that's kind of unique. But yeah, so it's 40, 30, and 30, which brings you to a grand total possible of 100. So his line, he only missed 2 particular points there. Angle, because it's Matt Field and his Corvette, him and Chelsea Denofa have the most angle of anybody. They will have their cars at 90 degrees sometimes. It's insane. So, of course, his angle is almost perfect, and his style is the only place he really lost any points. But my guess is just because he was a little bit flagrant with his initiations to drift and transition. He's kind of that kind of driver. They want to see it very clean and controlled, and he's a little bit more flamboyant, so he loses a little points there, I'm guessing.
Mm.
But that's a 93 qualifying run, which is the highest of the day. That was a position 1 qualifying run at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's head back up the hill again here. Oh, that's going to be a replay of his. Oh, no. Is that going to be... Maybe not here. Yep, here we go. This is my other boy. This is Odi Bakchis. This is a Sylvia S15 with a Vortec Pro-Charged LS 7-liter Dragon Slayer engine in it. I believe that's what they call the crank in this car. The crankshaft is known as the Dragon Slayer. Massive angle from Odi. Gets in really close to the touch and go. He's got good angle all the way through the zone. Now, shallow and outside zone 2. He did not get out as far as field, and he didn't get as close to inside clip 2. And he nails the 2 coming down the hill. Yep, doesn't hit him. Good angle all the way through. I'm going to guess that's going to be an 87 to 89. Maybe 91 if they're feeling generous, but that'll probably be an 87 to 89 qualifying run based on his lack to fill outside zone 2. Let's find out.
I'm thinking maybe like 89 tops.
And I was actually wrong. 86.
Oh.
They cut the style hurt him there, but I'm guessing that was because he had to get the car back under control after missing outside zone 2. He missed 5 points on line. Angle was good again, 2 points, but he missed a lot of style points there, most likely because of that correction.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, still, that's a really good run. We just watched the position 1 and 3 qualifying runs at this point in time into the qualifying session. That's a really, really good qualifying run from those 2 guys. And that's how it kind of works. You could see the inside and outside clips, and they have to do these. That first entry corner where Odie's coming in, where was it at? Let me go find where that was at. We'll go watch field again here. He's coming down the hill right here. That entry into that corner is 80 to 90 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
That's all downhill, and that's 80 to 90 miles an hour that he is traveling right now, which is... Oops. Don't say it. Okay. But yeah, no, that's a quick track. You go ahead. Whatever you wanted to say. That was all I wanted to say.
Yeah, and how fast do they, like, hit the drifts? Like 50, 60 miles an hour?
Yeah, these guys will drift at highway speeds. The new Salt Lake City track that they did at the Salt Lake Auto Complex or whatever they called it.
Mm-hmm.
They had some kind of name for that. What was that? Auto Campus, I think is what it was. I forget exactly.
Let me check.
But that at Salt Lake City, they actually had a speed trap set up. That's actually the one I was in the middle of watching when I had to go live. They have a speed trap set up on the entry to that corner. Chelsea DeNofa's entry in the round of 16 is the highest I've seen so far at 104.3 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
As he rips the handbrake going in to inside clip 1. I'm like, what? He was absolutely shredding. I think it's still up. Let me see.
Yeah,
this is it right here.
Utah Motorsports Campus.
That's it, yeah.
Let's
All right. Yeah. No, maybe. Nope, that was it. Okay. Come on. There we go. Okay, here we go. They're gonna have a picture-in-picture of the speed trap up, I think down here in the bottom left corner. Watch the speed. Now mind you, look how long this straight is. These are 1,000. Yep. There it is. 104.
Right there. It's scary. Yeah. No, just yeah, you're welcome. I hear you fine.
Oh wait, that's why I bumped it. My bad. Sorry about that. Boy, that really freaked me out there for a minute.
Rookie things
How
for
did
being a
I?
rookie podcast.
Jeez, I well, I don't know. I've never in all of my year and almost a year of streaming now. I've never accidentally bumped that slider.
Hmm.
Oh, that's what I did. I clicked on it and it moves the slider down. I'll be darned. Okay. But yeah, so let's go through some of these drivers and some of the cars or I should say some of the cars and some of the pilots who drive these things, because they are absolute madmen out here doing these 100-mile-an-hour entry drifts in these. Let's be real. I mean, they are handmade vehicles pretty much that use stock chassis that are just heavily modified.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep. Actually, I'm gonna pull up my. Thing. I wonder if I click on them, does it bring up their car? It does not. No. Drat. Okay. If that's the case, I'm gonna pull up each individual car as we talk about them. FD. Whoops. Supra. I'm gonna pull up pictures of this as we go. That way, you guys get to see some of these cars because they are absolutely insane. Some of these things, they're awesome. So the first up is the, I believe, who was it? Oh, really? That's how that worked? That's how that went in 2022? I didn't know that. Okay. So yeah, we will start with the 2022 champion, the driver of the, what is it, number 151 2020 Toyota Supra, run by Papadakis Racing, Frederick Osbo. His car looks a little something like this. It's actually the Forza Horizon 4 model that I pulled up. but, yeah, but yeah, this is Frederick Osbo's number 141 Toyota Supra, created by Papadakis Racing. This thing pushes like 1,050 horsepower. It's completely custom with a wide body, and it is an absolute ripper. Osbo is, they call him the Norwegian Hammer, and this guy is just the most. He's very low drama. You're not going to see him make many mistakes. You're not going to see him do much in terms of like mistakes and, crazy stuff. He's the steady plug-in tortoise of the tortoise and the hare combo, in the Formula Drift world, and he is just going to always be in contention. Osbo is an absolute force on the drift track, and he's, like I said, he was last year's champion, and I think if I go back, he's been in the top 5 for like 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
It's nice to see him in a proper car. He was driving the other Papadakis Racing vehicle, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but you'll understand why. Because it's a tiny, tiny, tiny little car, and the Supra is definitely much more his style. He's come into his own with the Supra. So, next up is... we already saw him. One of my personal favorite drivers, Matt... Whoops. There it is, Matt Field, with his 777 Corvette. This thing is absolutely disgusting. He actually built this on a donut series on the Donut YouTube channel. They actually covered this. They covered this build as he did it. This thing, another 1,050 horsepower. It says 1,000 horsepower, I guess. LS powered Corvette, and that is a seriously cool looking vehicle. Look at the steering angle on that.
Yeah.
Can you see these pictures?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, yeah. Look at the steering angle and stuff on this. This car is just, with the yellow headlights, this thing always looks absolutely sinister. And I love that, with the big wheels on it, and like, it's very like flashy chrome, and I love it. It's just, that's such a good looking car. When I first heard he was running a C6 Corvette, I'm like, seriously? Then I saw it and I went, oh, that's sick, bro. Like,
Yeah.
hell yes. Field is your middle of the road driver. Not super conservative, not crazy aggressive. He'll get a little aggressive and he'll take some risks, but he is definitely not your and he's definitely not your Frederick Osbo, you know, calm and collected. But he's kind of in the middle. Steady plugger. Just do what you can, take some risks when necessary, and all in all, very good driver. He was second in the points last year, so he did really, really well.
Yeah.
The other Papadakis racing vehicle is up next. J-Mech, you'll think this one's kind of interesting. I don't know if you know of this car yet. Where's it at here? Ryan, Tuerck with the Corolla. There we go. So yeah, this is this different paint job. This is the Papadakis Racing 2019 Toyota Corolla hatchback. It's been converted to rear-wheel drive, uses the stock 4-cylinder engine base.
No way.
Yes, it is a 4-cylinder. It's one of the only 4 cylinders in Formula Drift. It's been converted to rear-wheel drive, and it is turbo nitrous injected, making 1,000 horsepower. They blow this engine up pretty much once a weekend. It makes so much power. I'm not making that up. They seriously... There was one event, it was actually a problem because they worked till like 4 in the morning to change the engine because Turk blew it up again. Like, he blows this engine up all the time because it's just, honestly, it's too much motor for what motor car it is. It's not too, you could put a 2,000 horsepower in this little Corolla if you wanted to, but the engine just isn't, it's a 4-cylinder. It's not designed to make 1,000 horsepower. This thing will keep up with Frederick Osbo's straight 6 Toyota Supra that's got like 2 turbos strapped to the side of it or something. It's insane.
Oh, dang.
This thing is a monster. And it's like, yeah. Well, here's a better picture of the under the hood. And it's like, God, look at the size of that intercooler. That is a monster. Yeah. But Turk is a automotive innovator. He's definitely an interesting character. He's always making something. But in terms of, like, on the track, I think the car holds him back a lot. It's a really short wheelbase car. Osbo didn't do as well with this car when he drove it either. I mean, okay, you've drifted in, like, video games and stuff. Is a short wheelbase good for drifting?
I tried drifting in an AE86, which is a somewhat short wheelbase, and it's easy but hard at the same time.
It's twitchy. It's hard to keep steady, especially at higher speeds.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know why they do this, but yeah, they run this Toyota. This is the Forza model again. And it's like, yeah, it's an absolute, like I said, this thing sounds crazy going down the track. And again, somebody always to watch out for, 3rd in points last year. Now, you remember how I said Frederick Osbo was really calm and stable?
Yeah.
And like always calm, like calculated and not going to make many mistakes, you know, steady plugger. Yeah. Meet his opposite. Let me pull it up here. Meet the antithesis to Frederick Osbo and his calm and collected way of driving. This is Chelsea Denofa, part of the RTR spec cars group of, I believe it used to be...
the RTR cars.
The RTR Mustangs are, and these are actually special RTR Mustangs designed specifically for the sport. If you go out to like a Ford dealer, you can get a Ford Mustang RTR Spec 5. These are RTR Spec 5D. They are purpose-built drift chassis from Ford for this team, from what I understand.
Yeah, I've heard about that. You seem correct.
It's really cool that they have the Spec 5D. Chelsea is a risk taker. Okay, you know how they call Kyle Busch rowdy in NASCAR?
Yeah, is he like the Kyle Busch of this motorsport?
Except he's not a jerk. Chelsea is a super friendly and happy guy, but he is definitely the guy who's going to go out and hang it all out, even if it bites him in the rear. I mean, He's the kind of guy, he's actually DQ'd himself before because he was just trying to be too boisterous with the drift and ended up going too far and not being able to recover it. I've watched him lose battles because he just gets overzealous. He wants too much from it, and he gets greedy and goes too far. I mean, okay, look at this photo here. Look at the angle. Matt Field, we saw carrying a ton of angle.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Chelsea. His steering rack can't keep up with him. He's past the drift. He's past the steering capability of the car, and he's still drifting it that way.
Yeah.
Here he's got one tire off the ground. Again, past the point of his steering rack. And where's the other one? I know there was another one. And here again, another one tire up, shredding a bumper off the back of the car. This is Chelsea Denofa in a nutshell.
He's like, if it destroys my car, I don't care.
The running joke is that the biggest part of Chelsea Denofa's budget is for his bumpers that he constantly rips off the car from being flamboyant with drifting. It's hysterical. Yeah, this is I believe this is what his current car looks like this year.
With the Pennzoil sponsor. Honestly,
Yes.
the Pennzoil sponsor does not look bad.
Because this used to be his old one. This was his old purple BC Racing custom coilovers. But I think he picked up this livery when Von Gittin Jr. Took his hat out of the ring and let Adam LZ take his spot in his Mustang. Because Adam LZ actually runs Gittin Jr.'s old Mustang now. Yeah, my point exactly. Here's a really good picture of Denofa.
Oh. How?
know.
That's pure, like,
He
over
is-
90 at this point.
His full 90 degree on the locks. That's it. That's all she got, and there ain't no more kind of drifting right there. That is Denofa's
my.
signature, is the 90 degree drift. But the problem is it bites him a lot. He gets in trouble with that a lot. But it's really funny to watch. Another of my particular favorite. I don't care as much for the driver. It's not that I have anything against him. Just not my particular favorite. However, his car, on the other hand, yeah. Oh, yeah. Meet Chris Forsberg and his all-new Nissan Z.
He's using the Z for this year.
He used it last year. Here it is on track. Here it is on track last year, Long Beach.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
He ran it last year. And that underneath the hood is GTR powered. VR35 twin turbo under the hood of that brand new 400Z. 1,300 horsepower this thing makes. It is one of the fastest cars out there. Even Denofa has a hard time with his Mustang, which is one of the fastest cars. Even Denofa has a hard time keeping up with this brand new Z.
Let's bring in a Forza.
Oh my! It is an absolute ripper. This thing flies. It's like, and like I said, it looks awesome doing it. Look at the, I mean, tell me that doesn't go hard with that car sitting that way.
That is true.
And I do wish he kind of would have put a spoiler on it, but at the same time, I kind of get it. It's subtle, yet it's just right. Like it's just tasteful, and I really like how it looks. I think it's a really sharp-looking vehicle. Because this is what he used to drive, was a 370Z. And then he just switched up to the 400.
Actually, fun fact about the new Nissan Z. It's not actually called the 400Z. It's just called the Z.
Yeah, everybody just knows it as the 400Z.
Exactly, so.
It's kind of a weird... everybody named it before Nissan did, and now they're stuck with it.
Exactly.
The next two drivers are... I'm not going to pull up their cars. Dylan Hughes and Travis Reeder, both of who scored their first wins in FD last year, which was interesting. And they both drive BMW chassis. However, very different BMW chassis. Dylan Hughes is a slightly newer BMW. It's like a early 2000s, I think, M3. And under the hood, he's got a twin turbo 2JZ. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Travis Reeder is packing a supercharged LS engine under the hood. And they'll go toe-to-toe with each other, which is kind of crazy. Honorable mention to the driver I don't know who drives the rotary-powered FD Miata. No idea whose car that is, but he literally has an FD spec rotary Miata.
Wow,
And
that's insane.
It's the new ND body style. It's wild. It's really a cool looking car. And I watched him. Go ahead.
I've seen that thing, and it's crazy.
Oh, and the noises it makes are unreal because it's rotary. It's really cool to watch. I actually got to watch. It's one of my favorite battles. I got to watch him and Dean Carnage Carney, who drives at that point it was a 2008 Viper SRT10.
Oh yes, the SRT10.
You want to talk about a weird matchup? Throw a brand new Miata with a 30-year-old rotary engine under the hood, and then take just basically a stock Viper and put it on drift suspension, and crank the horsepower through the roof to 14 or 1500. Maybe even
true.
I think maybe even 1600. I mean,
No!
That Viper makes a crap load of horsepower. How much horsepower does Carney's
That
make?
Viper is in Forza, right? The Viper?
I believe so. Carney Viper HP. Let's see how much it makes.
I think
1350. It's 1350. Which is that's the upgrade. That's his old one though. He's got a new one now. Because that was his old. This is you can see on screen here. This is what his old one looked like. This Oracle lighting.
That looks
Viper
sick.
New.
That's one in Forza.
Yes. This is his new one. It's the new body style.
Oh!
This is a render of it. However, I have... Yeah, here it is. It's the newer Viper body. And it's still got 1,000... It's 1,350 horse under the hood. It's a monster of a car. It's really big.
A heart transplant in a way.
I mean, it's still got the V10 under the hood, though.
Yeah, so just really a heart.
Oh yeah, pretty much just putting it in the. I think he actually kept the chassis and just put the new body panels on the old chassis.
Nice.
I mean, I can't blame him. It's cheaper to just put new body panels on an old car than it is to make an all new car.
True.
I kind of get that. Ooh, Ken Gucci. Let me look his up. I forget exactly which car he has. Ken. Whoops, not Hushy. Gucci. I messed that up again. There it is. So yeah, he drives. He's the other Supra driver. He has another Supra that's a lot like Frederick Osbo's. Gucci's not usually much of a... I mean, you'll see him, but he doesn't usually make top, He might make top 8 once, or maybe top 4 if he's lucky. I don't think I've ever seen him in a final.
Oh, no. Rowdy.
He's sponsored by Rowdy Energy. I think he's actually sponsored by... Isn't that the... Because that looks like Kyle Busch's logo, doesn't it?
Yeah. Let me just double check right now.
I want to think that that might be in some way tied to Kyle Busch. I can't remember for sure.
Yeah, Rowdy Energy.
But either way, the Supra is nasty. It's just like Osbo's, except Gucci decided to go old school, whereas Papadakis didn't. Papadakis kept the stop.
Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch, I thought so. So yeah, he's sponsored by Kyle Busch, but unlike Papadakis, who kept the stock A90 Supra engine and just beefed it up, yeah, Gucci just decided to throw a twin-turbo 2J back under the hood like a Supra probably should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked. It works pretty good for him. He actually has a new car now, I think. That was his old one. He's now behind the wheel of this car, which is a... Can you even see what that car is anymore?
It is a FRS GT86. I'm kidding. It's the new.
Yeah, it's a new GR86 actually. Gazoo. Yeah. It's the Gazoo Racing spec.
Yep, Gazoo Racing GR86.
Yep, and I believe this one actually has a V8 under the hood now. I don't think they could fit the full 2J back under the hood of the short little nose of the 8.6. So, but yeah, I kind of miss his old Supra. because I really like the 890 Supra. It's a really good looking car for, especially with the wide body for drifting. It's dirty, dirty, dirty.
Yeah, but I like the new GR86 as well.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I like the GR86. It's really good. I really like the Supra too.
Yeah, fair, fair.
And of course, my personal favorite driver, Odi Bakshis, with his. It used to be an S14.5 because it was an S14 with just an S15 front nose on it. However, in the last 2 years or so, he actually found himself an actual S15 and built it.
Nice.
No idea where he got it, but yeah, this is Odi's Falcon Tires Feel Suspension, which is the company he owns. He owns Feel Suspension. This is his, I believe. Oh wait, where did that picture go? Yeah, because this I believe is his street S15, and then his Formula Drift S15. That's a
difference. I don't think so.
That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, this thing has a. I think it can go up to 1,000 horsepower, but I think he keeps it down to 900 for safety. It's just a cool looking S15. It's simple. It's clean. Well, I mean, sure, it's got a lot of like logos on it and stuff, but in terms of the build, it's just a nice wide body with a nice ducktail spoiler on it.
Yep.
LS under the hood. It doesn't come much more textbook than that. And that's kind of why I like him. He's very down to earth. He's just the guy who like, yeah, I'm gonna just build the car I want and run it. Good enough for me.
As long as it runs, it works.
Oh, well, I do like. Notice how the headlights are blacked out except for the very inside edge?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually how they shine. Look at how this S15 looks on track.
Well, true. Yeah, I see it, and that's bright.
Yeah, they're super bright LEDs, but they only shine out of the very inside. When you see this car sitting on the start in the dark with the underglow on, you just get these two beady little LED eyes really close to each other next to the grill. It's really cool.
Question.
Yeah.
Can you change the headlight color?
Yes.
Because if that was like red, oh, that'd be scary.
Yeah. Mind you, please follow Odie Drift on Instagram for more of that stuff. Oh yeah, definitely check out all of these guys on Twitter and stuff. I really love. I think he actually documented some of the build and stuff. His car's really cool, and I love. Like I said, I really love those headlights. They're really cool.
Yes.
All of these cars run underglow because one of the main sponsors of the series is Type S.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, Type S.
Yeah, so they all run underglow neon systems, and they can make them change colors, pulse. Odie usually runs his as a solid color, but he'll change it now and then to like, he'll change it during runs and stuff to like different colors, but then he'll leave it solid. Whereas like on Denofa's car, it just basically looks like a disco underneath. Denofa actually has two like roof rails where the gutter caps would be on the roof of the car. He's got two LED strips that run there as well. It's awesome. Who else do we have on the list? Rome Charpentier, another BMW driver. Who I forget. I think he has a supercharged LS under the hood of his as well, but his is a much older BMW, and his particular like thing that he keeps on the car, it says something about take it to the moderns, because he's all about driving his old BMW all the time and taking it to the new cars. I'm like, that's really cool. I do quite like. He thought he wrecked a motor last year at New Jersey because he dropped the clutch while traveling backwards after he had been hit and spun out. And he said it sounded like marbles inside the engine. They couldn't get it to crank.
Ooh,
Turned out, I think what he did was actually, roast his starter somehow. I'm not exactly sure because they couldn't get the car to start. So they got the fuel turned back onto the car. They got him bump started, and he went back on track with no hood and on a bump start to where if the car died, he was done. He had to keep it running during everything. Wow. And he managed to go and actually finish. That was the finals. And he managed to get back out there and finish it. Because all you could hear was just the car cranking over, and it sounded awful. And then all of a sudden, you just heard this, kier, 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 wow! And you just heard everybody working around this car on the camera. Yeah! It just roared to life. He tries to take off, stalls. They're like, what the? No. Forgot to turn the fuel on. They got the fuel turned on, bump started him off again with like 30 people pushing this car, and you just hear it roar to life and go screaming down the thing, and we're like, oh, that's cool to watch something be revitalized like that. Turk runs pea yellow, and it makes me laugh sometimes. Oh, in terms of headlights, yeah, so does Field. He runs the yellow headlights as well. I'm not a fan of the fringed. Red would be really cool, though. You're right. Mm-hmm. Here's one of the more interesting. Wataru Matsuyama. This is Wataru Matsuyama and his Nissan S15 that he actually brought over from Japan. He drove this car in Japan and had it shipped over to be here in the States so he could run in the U.S. Formula Drift. He's one of the only S15s with a massive wing hanging off the back of the car. Mm-hmm. And a much more unique wide body than the others. It's very, very unique to itself, and it's a really cool looking like teal and yellow. Don't know what engine he has in this car, but he's not usually much of a force to be reckoned with. However, very cool car to watch him drift. It's just a cool looking car in general. Now we're getting into more of the people who don't usually make as much of an impact. You've got Jeff Jones, who I think changes cars all the time. He was in a 350Z. Now I think he might be in a 370 now. I forget. Michael Essa, he's kind of another BMW guy. Justin Pollock is another one of the Mustang guys, but he's not an RTR like teammate member with Denofa and Adam LZ. He's just kind of on his own. Kazuya Taguchi, he's pops up now and then. Mike Power actually made a couple of like round of 16s as a rookie, which was impressive. Dan Burkett, the only driver in the field to actually show up and race a Mark IV Supra. They call him Rad Dan Burkett, and he has the mullet from what's that thing we watched? Because you committed yourself on a one-way trip to a $3 mullet. That is Dan Burkett. It's they call him Rad Dan. Does Mike Widett still compete? As far as I'm aware, no, Sadie. I do not know. I don't believe he competes. That name does not sound familiar to me. And then the only other one that really shows up now and then, Taylor Hull, Daniel Stuckey, and Dean Carney. These three show up now and then. Hull used to drive a Cadillac ATS-V, now has a Corvette. I don't know what happened to the Cadillac, but he's got a Corvette now, like Fields.
Hashtag bring back Caddy.
Yeah, I thought his Cadillac was cool, but he never did much with it. Daniel Stuckey has an S15. He showed up a couple of times last year, around a 16 kind of stuff. Never did much. And then Dean Carnage Carney with his V10 Viper, of course, is always one to watch as well. But I think that about covers all of the drivers. It's cool because there's such a, okay, in NASCAR, everybody has to build their cars the same.
Uh-huh.
Formula Drift is one of the few things because it's not about crossing the line first. It's about style. People are still able to be Mad Mike. No. Not Mad Mike. Rad Dan Burkett. Rad Dan, not Mad Mike. There's no Mad Mike that I'm familiar with. There's a Mike Power. However, he's a rookie, so it's definitely not the one you're thinking of. It's not Mike Widett. It's Mike Power. But yeah, there's such a wide breadth of people in this sport, and all of the cars they drive. Like I said, a rotary powered Miata going against a V10 Viper. And meanwhile,
that's scary.
On the next run, you'll have an LS powered Nissan going up against a BMW with a Toyota motor in it. And you're like, what? Huh? What's this? Occasionally you'll find a normal car out there. You'll have a Nissan with a Nissan engine in it. But even like Forsberg, he's got a Nissan Z with a GTR motor in it. Or, the only one that really actually has like a stock motor in it are the two Papadakis racing cars, the Supra and the Corolla, and the Corvette. of hull and field. Everybody else has at least some kind of modified engine under the hood. And there's no real rules to it. Make it safe. Make it meet specs. Done.
You can use any car, any engine, as long as you make the specs, which is like, I think over 900 horsepower. It has to be, of course, as safe as possible.
Yeah, I say they have to meet all safety requirements, and your horsepower dictates how much of a rear tire you can run. So lower horsepower cars are only allowed are allowed thinner tires. But if you have more horsepower, you can run wider tires, basically to accommodate for the traction difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 700-800 horsepower car might be limited to a 265, but if you got Carnage's V10 under the hood, you might have, you know, a 295 or even a 305 under the back because you can. Mad Mike is an Australian drifter, guy who made the Drift Huracan. Oh yeah, he's definitely not running an FD. Not at least not last year. I would remember a Drift Huracan. Oh, that's it. There's one more I wanted to talk about. One Federico Scerifo, whose vehicle of choice, New Zealander? You said Australian, Sadie, so that's why I said that. But yeah, New Zealander. Okay. But yeah, one Federico Scerifo. They call him Fetty or the Sheriff. His vehicle of choice for Formula Drift is a 2008 Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano. Yeah, that's an interesting car to pick for drifting. I think Ferrari actually tried to get him to not make the car, but they
That is true. And then literally, I think he like fought against the
I think he had
cease and desist.
Yeah, I think he had to fight for the right to use the car. Because I know, like, the first time it came out, it caught fire that day.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, that kind of sucked. He had to rebuild it. Lamau V. Yes, it is a V12. It's the stock 599 V12 in the car. Granted, beefed up with nitrous, I do believe, if I remember correctly. Can you imagine a nitrous-injected Ferrari V12? It's just terrifying to think about. It's such a scary, scary, scary thing. Oh, man. Now, what was the last thing? I forget. Oh, no, that was it. That was the cars and the rules. That was the last thing on my list.
Oh.
Do you have anything else to add about Formula Drift, J-Mac? I know I've done a lot more talking than you have this episode, so please feel free to butt in whenever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Formula Drift kind of guy, but yeah, what are some of the tracks?
That's because they change a lot, actually. Last year the start of the year always starts in Long Beach, California. Actually, on the Long Beach IndyCar circuit, they use the final, like, 2 corners before coming to pit road. So the finish line actually ends, and where they go to pull off to go back to their pits is the pit road for the IndyCar race. Nice. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, actually. I quite like it. So they run there, and then Atlanta's usually early season. Last year it happened to be second, which is the track we saw. Third was... What was third? Let me look. Third was Orlando, which is in Orlando Speedway, which is it's cool because they drift on the banking of the Speedway corners at points there. That's always interesting. Round 4 is at Englishtown, New Jersey, which is...
my home state!
Yes, and it's actually cool because it's the first purpose-built Formula Drift course in the world. It is not just something they, like, adapted in. They actually took an old drag strip that was defunct on the Englishtown race property and converted it into a stadium-style, like, coliseum of drift. So it's 4 walls. They actually enter the track via tunnel under one of the buildings to begin the run. They start outside the Coliseum and run into it. It's really cool. St. Louis is at International Technology Raceway in the infield track. Monroe is... Where's Monroe? Seattle is round 6. Grantsville is was Salt Lake City, pretty much. That's round 7, and then every year it ends in Irwindale, California, with round 8.
Mm.
It's always 8 rounds. The dog is pawing at the thing. Mind you, FD does host worldwide. Yes, this is just the American circuit. I should specify that. They have FD Japan and many others. However, the one I watch is Formula Drift, the U.S. version, because I'm American. So, but it is very, very fun. I enjoy it. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't yet. It is a really, really fun sport, and if you've never seen, if you're used to normal racing where it's about keeping your car at the absolute limit of grip, this is the entire opposite side because it's all about driving beyond the limit of grip. If you straighten your car out, you're disqualified. It's all about the slide, which is really cool. So, yeah, if you don't have anything more to end, I think that's about all I had. I just wanted to cover this because it's a sport I really, really love. And at one point in time, I really thought I wanted to be a Formula Drift driver, and I thought that would be really cool.
Yeah, I see what you mean by that. I have some of those dreams that are like, maybe I can. To like some extent, I'm like, and then I come back to reality. I'm like, oh dang, this is really expensive, and I can't.
Yeah, what is it? Dean Carney's V10 engine is like $80,000 or something.
Oh no!
It's obnoxiously expensive for this sport, but that's why they have so many good sponsorships and stuff. I mean, Matt Field alone has a sponsorship for his tires, for his wheels, for his supercharger, for his engine. Like, he's got a sponsor for every piece of the car to be able to afford what he does. And
Oh yes, bumper.
I say Chelsea Denofa has a sponsorship for his bumper, one for the rear, one for the front, 2 for the side skirts.
Literally, that car is sponsor. But hey,
Pretty much, yeah. He should just like sell individual pieces of the cars. I'd like you to sponsor my rear bumper. Why? Because I've lost 3 every race this year, and I need more. I thought it was funny at New Jersey last year. Matt Field lost his entire door. The whole door skin came off.
really?
The whole door skin. He was still driving it that way because it was fine. It still has the protective like roll cage in it, but the actual door skin on the outside came apart. You could see his legs and everything down in his race seat and everything. He's like, you see him just looking at it like, huh, okay. Everybody's like, where did his door go? Yeah, he got tapped. One of the wheels caught it from the chase driver that was following him and ripped it off. I'm like, that was a weird one. I've not seen that happen before. But yeah, we'll go ahead and call it there, I suppose. And
Yep. There,
like I said,
that's all my questions.
heck yeah. So if you ever, I highly advise checking it out. Their season starts here in the next couple months. Definitely go and check out Formula Drift. They are really cool, and it's something different when you're looking at motorsports.
Quick plug for Formula Drift. They always like post their stuff free on YouTube, so yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll live stream all of their qualifying. Not even just like the pros, but they do like Pro 2 and stuff. So like the up and coming drivers as well. They live stream all of it for free on their YouTube channel, like JMax said, and they archive all the VODs. So you can go back and watch. Yeah. I mean, since they've been live streaming, you can pretty much go back and watch anything you want.
Yeah, they started. Let me check. I found St. Louis 2018.
I'd love to go back and watch like the early days of 03 to 07 when Tanner Faust was in it, but I can't find any.
Seattle 2013.
Yeah, you can go back quite a ways.
Formula Drift Round 4. Walden, New Jersey.
That was back before Englishtown existed.
Yeah. All right. The oldest you can get up to is FD 2012 Long Beach Saturday Action. That's what it's called.
That's pretty good. So you can go back almost 10 full seasons of content out of the. This year will be their 20th anniversary, so you can go and watch half of the Formula Drift that's ever existed. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Even NASCAR can't do that.
Yeah. Formula Drift's description. Entering the 20th season, Formula Drift is a North American's professional racing drifting championship series.
Yep.
As the first official series in North America, Formula Drift has taken competitive motorsports to the extreme, attracting fans, car enthusiasts from all walls of life and establishes itself as a worldwide leader for the sport.
That sounds
I'm not
about.
going to read the rest.
I say
I'm not going to
that's
read the rest.
that about sums it up though. That's Formula Drift in a nutshell. So yeah, definitely go check out Formula Drift and have some fun with it. It's cool to watch. So.
They're on like every single social media as well.
Oh yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Usually just at Formula
Twitter.
Drift, so you can keep up with all
Yep.
of their stuff, just like any other pro sporting thing. You can find them pretty easy, and there's plenty of content to enjoy. So, but thank you guys all for watching the Gear Stupidity podcast. We'll sign off from here. My name's Soji Sakata,
And I'm JMac.
and we will see you guys next week with whatever we decide is the episode then. So,
Yeah, we have so many choices we don't even know.
yeah, we'll figure it out on the way.
Yeah. All right.
Have a great night, everybody.
All right. Peace.